Hey guys, it's Robert Gene, and I'm a behavioral engineer. I'm an expert in knowing how the brain works. I know how to update memories. I know how to change the cause of your problems. It starts at one spot, and that's your brain. And a lot of people, like I talk about Katherine, she's sitting on my green couch in my office. I call it the green magic couch because a lot of changes happen there. And, she said, I just want to know why. Why am I so broken? Why am I so screwed up, she said. And I said, I do know why. I said, the reason why you have problems is because you were born, and had you not been born, you'd have no problems. Of course, it didn't solve anything. She just kind of wiped her tears off. But why am I seemingly so screwed up? I said, you're not screwed up. Your brain is replaying, keeping you in alignment from what you learned from your past. That means you're just recycling stuff. And the reason why it recycles is because that's the real world it knows. And of course, that world is where you come from. A lot of people have a lot of weird players in their life. And I'm going to say weird, it's just like seemingly normal family problems or abuse issues. A brother doesn't like you, a sister doesn't like you, mom's got problems, dad's got problems. People use you, abuse you, and hurt you, and your brain captures it all and organizes it and uses it on you, trying to keep you safe. And so you're going to spend years in therapy. And of course, my system is not conscious logic. Conscious logic will not solve your problems. Here's logic, and I want you to agree with this. The past is over and it's not true today. You're actually here now. Is that true? You say, yeah, logically, yeah, that's true. I said, you're not 5 years old anymore, or 7, are you? No, I'm not. So that means, the past is over and doesn't exist. It's just you and I right here. But the past sure makes you seem like it's real when you go back and visit. But it's not real. Logic does not solve neurological information. When you're going to change your world, the only way to change your world is go to the source. That means the data in which your mind holds and how it internalizes it and how to update how it's happening in your head. You can logically understand all the reasons why, and that's what she said. I understand why my dad did what he did. I understand my mom's point of view. I understand my point of view. I understand my husband's point of view, but I'm still messed up. I said that logic doesn't solve and change memories. I've worked with people who've been in years and years in therapy, or actually even psychotherapists, and they're just as jacked up as anyone else because it's not logical, it's neurological. Knowing how to update how your brain has internalized the external world sets you free. To set yourself free is to understand how and to apply how to change and update memories. And I know you're going to say, well, if I change my memories, who am I going to be? You, still you, happier maybe. Have to work a little bit harder to feel bad if you change the bad ones. But you're still going to be you. And why would you ask and say such a thing? Because your brain had captured a bad moment. Your brain will use that bad moment as a form of protection, but it is also the noose around your neck that you can't get away from it. That means you're going to relive and recycle and repeat over and over and over again until either it destroys you and gets bigger or until it fades off and disappears. She says, my panic attacks are getting worse. I said, they're not getting worse, you're just getting better at it. Your brain compounds this information, and consciously you want to understand why you have a problem and you want to prepare yourself if it happens again. And that's the insanity part, because see, your brain, I call it the intelligent idiot and the faithful servant. Of course, your brain has a pair of amygdalae. There's 2 of them, not just one, amygdala. And they have a process, they have a skill set, they have an operating system. And when I'm talking to you, your brain, these parts, I call them the twin girls, and they're actually doing things when you're talking. When I say, think of a dog, you're going to think of your dog, right? Then I say, well, my dog's a black Great Dane. Now you're going to think of a black Great Dane, right? But then I say, she's got white tips on her ears, a white tip on her tail, and 4 white socks, and a star on her chest. Guess what they're doing? They're taking my information, and they're going to create a Great Dane. And it looks like my dog. Her name's Lady. No testicles here, right? So now it has to start adjusting it. This is how your brain works. And it works like that when you ask your brain By the way, your brain is an answering machine. It's almost like a genie in the bottle, but a genie in your head. All today, you've asked it thousands of questions. What time is it? Where's my shoes? What am I going to eat for dinner? Where's the link? Where's my YouTube channel? Where's my phone? And it just helps you find it. But because it's intelligent, faithful servant. Intelligent idiot, faithful servant. But here's a weird thing. If you ask it other questions like, what happens if it gets worse? Whatever event it is. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to create a scary scenario inside your head. Now that becomes important to you. It also becomes what we call an imprinted value, which means it will start looking for more bad things. And then if you ask it more brilliant questions like, what happens if it gets really bad? What worst scenario? And then you start planning and looking for every bad thing, it's going to start faithfully and ignorantly start creating more anxiety, more problems, and you're feeding the dragon within. It's giving you more of what you're asking questions about. Now, by the way, you ask for your shoes, it helps you find it. Ask for your keys, it helps you find it. And if you ask, how horrible will my future be, it's going to help you achieve that. That's the insanity part. And of course, like I said, worries are wishes. Worries are theaters in your mind. When you worry about it, you create it and you feel as if it's true, and you're building a big scary world for you. It's all driven by the avoidance of pain, but also keeps you locked in. And it's hard to get out. So this is not logical, common logic. It's neurological. And knowing how to address your inner world, your programmings, it sets you free. So come learn more. I mean, I've got a free course that'll help you move you towards that. I do sessions, I do trainings. You can change yourself, master training. You need to know how to change yourself. Because you don't have to chase therapies, and you don't have to regulate your vagus nerve. You don't have to soothe your amygdalae. All of these are sidetracking what the real cause is, and that's memory. I understand you're scared. I understand you've had some traumas. Welcome to the group, right? But those days are over. And today's the day to really make a decision. I've had enough. I am not going to put up with my history. I want something different. And the only way to get something different is let go of what you don't want. The bad memories, the scary stuff. Make peace with it. And who will you be when it's all said and done? You. Probably happier, more in control. So come learn more. This is Robert Jean. Peace.